Okay, all channels live. Hi students, welcome to the session here. Welcome to Infinity Learn by Sri Chaitanya here, and today the topic you can see over here, we are mainly going to be discussing about the Eamcet exam. So in this exam, as you people know, those of you especially who are from Telangana and AP, this is the engineering, medical, pharmacy and agricultural exam for these two states, for the Andhra states. Even the others also give it occasionally, but mainly it's for the Telangana and AP states. So in this session, we will mainly be discussing firstly about what the exam paper is, some notifications about when the exam is, at what time you'll be getting your admit cards. If you have not yet filled up the forms, there's still time for that. You have to pay a late fee, but besides that, there's still time for that. We'll get to know about all of those notifications. And very importantly, we will be learning about what is the weightage of the different chapters in your Eamcet. Okay, so we'll be covering all of them in this session. So do like the session and subscribe if you haven't subscribed yet to our channel. Let's get started. So first up, right off the bat, we have the notifications. When it was released, the commencement of submission of the online applications, and it started on the 3rd of March over here. And so far in the very beginning, you could apply for it right off the bat without any issues or anything. However, if you have not yet applied, then there is still time up till right now. Today we are on the 17th, so it's up till 15th you could have done it with a late fee of 250. Now you can still do it up till 20th with a late fee of 500. This is not 500L, this is just 500. Okay, with a late fee of 500 you can do it till this coming Thursday. Now up till 25th, it's with 2500, then it becomes, it's not 5000K, that's way too much to be asking for an exam slate fee, but it's rupees 5000 up till this 2nd of May. Now please don't go there, there's no point wasting that time. If you have not yet filled up, first and foremost, go fill up, register yourself for the exam. The reason being, the exam is not too far away, it's not even a month left for the exam. So that is why you don't want any unnecessary panic towards the end, and also don't waste your parents' hard-earned money. Now the hall tickets, you can get it from the website itself, the official website itself, from the 30th of April. So you can see even the registration goes beyond the issuance of the admit cards, but still you can do it with that payment. So you'll get the admit cards. A lot of students ask when we get admit cards. There you have the date, 30th of April. Now coming to the main exam itself, now Eamcet, there's two parts to it. You have the agriculture and the medical part, and you have the engineering part, where you also have the pharma and all that. So in the agriculture and medical part, so you have two shifts. There's forenoon and there is afternoon. Forenoon shift is from 9 AM to 12 noon. And the afternoon shift is from 3 PM to 6 PM. So you have two shifts on all of these days, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th. On all of these days you have the exam. However, on the 10th and 11th, you just have the agricultural and medical exams. You don't have the engineering ones on these days. On both these days, you'll be having it in both of these shifts. Okay, there are both shifts for both of these days. And the engineering ones are from 12th, 13th and 14th. Again, on 12th, 13th and 14th as well, there are both shifts, forenoon and afternoon. So you can go there, just an advice. We'll also maybe come up with a video later on before the exam itself about what the specific strategies you can use right before the exam. But right now, this is the notification. That said, let's move on to the marking scheme, because the marking scheme, a lot of students might be preparing for your JEE mains. JEE mains has just concluded very recently, this week that just went by, we concluded our JEE mains. So after that, you might be looking forward to what other competitive exams you can give and improve your chances. So there's a bit of difference from JEE mains, both in terms of the paper pattern, and there are even places where the syllabus changes. Okay, we'll talk about that as well. So firstly, about the paper pattern, the duration is same as your JEE main. It's 180 minutes, which means it's 3 hours long. Now there's two. There's the engineering one, which is MPC, and you also have the BIPC one as well. So in the MPC, it's mathematics is reigning supreme, which means in mathematics you have 80 marks, whereas physics and chemistry come with 40 marks each. So these two together is the same. So that is why most students, in this case, you have to focus more on maths. If you're preparing for mainly JEE, then physics, maths, chemistry have equal weightage. But even then, you know, maths is a bit more difficult in JEE. In JEE, at a 50-60% marks in maths, you get 99 percentile in maths. But here the marks itself in maths is much higher. So you have 80, 40 and 40. However, it's a bit different. It's the same pattern as NEET when you are dealing with BIPC, which is biology, physics and chemistry. In that, this B stands for botany. All of the botany, zoology, physics and chemistry, all of them have your same weightage. But just like NEET, as you can see, what we call as biology completely, biology is these two parts. Biology again has 80 marks. Okay, same as NEET. In NEET, these are just 45 instead of 40, but the distribution of marks is same in all of them. Okay, again, it's of 160 marks. It's one question, 1 marks per question. So that's literally the number of marks you see. That's the number of questions. 40 questions physics, 40 chemistry, 40 maths. And the very big difference which will completely change your strategy towards the exam is the fact that in Eamcet you have no negative marks. This is the big one, because this means you have to attempt every single question in the paper. Even if you are just wildly guessing it, even if it's a wild guess, you should put it in there. You don't have to be too cautious. In JEE main, students have to be very cautious about the negative marking thing. Here you don't have to worry. If you don't get it, either way, if you don't mark, you wouldn't get it. But attempt every single question in the exam. Do not leave out any question. Even towards the end, if you have to rush and just mark them randomly, even do that. Even that is fine. But you have to do it. Hi Ekta, welcome to the session, Ekta. So Ekta, let me know in the chat, where are you from? AP, Telangana? Which state are you from? And which shift you have taken up? So anyway, in that meantime, we'll move on with our session here. So now we're going into the crux of the matter. So first up, we have physics. We'll be discussing about the weightage of the different topics in physics. What are the important topics to focus on? And I'll also give you a few strategies about what you should follow with regards to physics. Now, physics, I will say, is not very difficult. I mean, I would call physics of Eamcet at a NEET level almost. Okay, it's not JEE mains level, but it's roughly NEET level. Hi, Yashwant. Okay, you're from AP. Great, Yashwant. So you're appearing for Eamcet this very year, I'm expecting. It's very soon. It's on, like we saw, it's on the 12th, 13th and 14th of April. It's almost here. So as you're preparing for physics, my advice is, instead of NCERT, focus on your state board books. Okay, even if you are from a CBSE school, focus on the state board books occasionally. The reason being, there are times when the syllabus differs from your CBSE to your state board. Example, a very big example of this is when we will discuss maths. I'll show you in maths there is the weightage on, there is hyperbolic functions, and there's even in probability you also have the Poisson distribution. Now those things are not there in JEE mains nor there in JEE advanced, but those questions, those are important in your Eamcet. So that is why I'll tell, even though if you have prepared from NCERT, not that is going to benefit you, but also go through the entire state board book. Make sure in physics every single formula is known to you. There will not be too complicated questions. It will mainly be formula, graph based questions, but make sure every formula is known to you, and I can assure you, you'll get a good marks. Okay, so be very, very careful about that. Follow the state board. So here is the weightage, and mainly, as you can see, mechanics, just like you have in JEE mains, mechanics gets the highest weightage, 15 marks, followed by heat and thermodynamics, which gets 12 marks. Then electricity, modern physics, and waves and optics come after that. So this is a bit different from your JEE mains, because in JEE mains, electricity is again pretty high. Mechanics and electricity become almost same weightage. Okay, heat and thermodynamics comparatively is lower, but in Eamcet heat and thermodynamics is a very important topic. So that is something you must do that. Okay. So that said, let's move on. I'll just give you a moment to take a screenshot of this if you want to, so that you can get the data for yourself. So let's move on to the chapter wise breakdown. So in chapter wise breakdown, now these are again expected questions based on the previous years of what we have seen. We are expecting these numbers of questions, and since it's Sri Chaitanya, all of you now you're here at Infinity Learn, hopefully you know about Sri Chaitanya's legacy especially in the Telugu speaking states. So predictions like this are pretty accurate based on how much experience Sri Chaitanya has in this field. So first up, these are the weightages, roughly the expected number of questions, where if you want to focus on what are the key topics I need to cover, everything has roughly similar weightage, especially in physics. Just if you want to focus, laws of motion becomes an important topic. The reason is not just because it has 2 questions coming from it, but also because in laws of motion, you'll have many types of problems. All the different cases possible. You won't get too many questions for very complicated arrangements, but the basics, the inclined planes and the basic pulleys, those should be clear to you. Okay. Let's move on. Rotational motion. Again, this is important, and it not only has more marks, but also this is a big part. Moment of inertia. You have then the clockwise and counterclockwise torque. You have many things coming up. So that is why rotational motion is also important. Next up, oscillations, gravitation, mechanical properties, solids and fluids. These are big chapters, especially mechanical properties of fluids and gravitation, but they have comparatively lower weightage. Okay, this is gravitation, especially in JEE Main, becomes important. I'm again comparing Eamcet to JEE Mains because many of you prepare for JEE Mains along with Eamcet. So in the chat section, the ones who have given JEE Mains, let me know if you have given JEE Mains, what the JEE Mains standard was like. We have recently concluded the JEE Main question paper discussion on the channel. You can see that will help you for your Eamcet as well. So thermal properties, see, I told you heat and thermodynamics was important. See, thermal properties of matter, 2 marks, thermodynamics also 2 marks, important chapters for you to cover. Alright. Next up, we have those were the intermediate first year, which means what we often call as class 11. So this is for intermediate first year topics. For intermediate second year topics, you see waves and sound, important, 2 marks. Waves and sound importance, optics, the entire optics part, especially ray optics is important. Wave optics, comparatively, it is easier because you only have interference, diffraction, polarization, where again in Eamcet you will not get too complicated arrangements. Even if they ask from interference, they will ask you for basic the position of the fringes and so on. It won't get way too complicated. Okay, so again, electricity, comparatively lower weightage than JEE Mains, but still, like if this was JEE Mains, current electricity would have huge weightage. It has the highest weightage among all chapters in JEE Mains. Then you have electrostatic, potential and capacitance. Okay, so electricity chapters, again important. Next we have the other smaller chapters, like alternating current, electromagnetic wave, dual nature, atoms, nuclei. Communication systems important. Hardly a few formulas, direct formula based question comes. Okay, एकता समझ में नहीं आ रहा. Okay, एकता ये mainly English में हो रहा है. But if you have any doubts, तो मुझे वहाँ पे बताओ, मैं तुम्हें बता दूँगा वो part exactly किस लिए चाहिए. The reason being, तेलंगाना एंड एपी में ज़्यादातर स्टूडेंट्स इंग्लिश स्पीकिंग है, हिंदी नहीं आता है. सो बिकॉज दिस इज एन एग्जाम फोकस्ड ऑन तेलंगाना एंड एपी, दैट इज वाई वी आर मेनली स्पीकिंग इन इंग्लिश. Okay, so Snehin, you say, can we concentrate on both advanced and Eamcet? Yes, you can concentrate both on advanced and Eamcet, because in Eamcet it's like I said JEE main syllabus, but go through your state board syllabus. State board ka book lo, take the state board book and go through that, because there are a few topics which you might not be familiar with, which will come in Eamcet but not in JEE mains. Okay, so Snehin, that is the advice to you. Prepare for JEE advanced, but go through the Telugu state book, especially few topics you'll find. Chalo, next we'll move into the chapter wise breakdown of mathematics. So in mathematics, algebra, calculus, expected बहुत बड़ा section आने वाला है इससे. Lots of weightage is going to come from algebra and calculus. Now calculus involves both differential and integral calculus, so both of them are included in here. Coordinate geometry comparatively a little less, and you can see the sum of all of these is going to be 80, because remember maths has 80 questions, physics and chemistry have 40 questions. Okay. So coordinate geometry 14, trigonometric 11, vector and 3D is going to be 10. Okay. Next up we have functions. Again has the highest. This becomes a very important chapter. This becomes, because it's a part of algebra itself, this becomes a very important chapter, because in physics we saw it was just 1 marks, 2 marks, it was the variation was very little, but function suddenly has 4 marks expected out of it, 4 questions out of it. So one of the most important parts that you can do from maths. Okay, rest again, the products of vectors, even in vectors focus more on the product, so dot products and cross products, focus more on them, even the scalar triple product, they become important. Okay. When will the key be released for main session 2? Hopefully in a few days, Yashwant. Generally that's what happens very soon. So mathematical induction I don't think is deleted, but there are a few additional parts that are in there. Okay, there are a few additional parts in there, like hyperbolic functions. Important for your Eamcet, not there in JEE Mains or Advanced. Similarly, when you're dealing with where is probability? Where is probability? Probability, where did probability go? If you have probability, yes, you have probability over here, and in probability, mind you, you have Poisson distribution. Poisson distribution is different from the Gaussian distribution and so on. So that is not there in JEE Mains or Advanced, but it's there in Eamcet. So be mindful of that. What's the important chapter for NEET? So एक था NEET whatever important chapter, जो भी important chapter होगा NEET में, उसके लिए एक separate session हम लोग discuss करेंगे. NEET को related भी एक separate आएगा NEET channel पे ही. So you have subscribed to the NEET channel, तो इस पे आएगा on a separate thing. इस पे separate. This is about Eamcet. We'll focus mainly on that. Okay. So again, these are the weightages, complex numbers, high weightage, you have probability, high weightage. Like I said, there are a few additional topics there. I'll just go back and give you a moment to take a screenshot of these. If you want, you can always come back, but just right now, because you're in the midst of preparation, the Bloka JEE Advanced is also going on. You're preparing for Eamcet as well. I think this very soon you have this Sunday, I think you had for VIT or KIIT, so all the engineering exams especially are coming right after the other. I think this Sunday there was I think KIIT was there this Sunday. Did any one of you give that KIIT exam? Let me know in the comment section. So you can take the screenshots for all of them here. Right? I'm just pausing a moment because there's not a lot to discuss. The important chapters, if you want, just focus on the ones that have high weightage. Those become your important chapters. And those are actually, in maths especially, those are also your important chapters in JEE Mains. So if you are preparing for advanced, like I think Snehan was telling, he's preparing for advanced, your preparation is going to be there for both of them. So ekta, you have many problems in physics. So physics ekta we are having in your NEET channel itself, you will see lots of physics crash courses going on. You can follow that. There we are covering all the topics. In your if you want to more, then also in JEE channel we are also covering them. So you can follow them. You can even ask us in the live chats about when we take the classes. You can ask your doubts there and we clarify them. Besides that, also join our Telegram channel, students, because all of this information you will be getting there as well. So this is already, we did the slide earlier. This is the weightage of each part, where algebra and calculus take the most part out. Okay. Next up, lastly we have chemistry, and chemistry is the easier one. It's in JEE Mains also, here also chemistry is the easier one. Okay. Chemistry being the easier chapter, easier subject, this is rather the one that many students start with first. But I think this occasionally can be a bit of a mistake, Because if you're starting with the easier one, sure, you can get a lot of marks. But the problem is towards the end, when your mind is way too occupied, then you cannot take on the really difficult maths or anything. So pace yourself accordingly. Make sure that you're not like way too overwhelmed by the second hour or the third hour. Based on that, you can move forward. Okay. So let's move on with chemistry. Chemistry, roughly same weightage of physical, organic and inorganic. But here also I'll show you what are the important topics, what are the important chapters here. So atomic structure, anything, because over here you see you don't see those four questions or 3 questions. The reason being, again, chemistry has only 40 marks. Chemistry has 40 marks, maths had 80 marks. That is why in the math section you were actually having that high weightages, 4 marks, 3 marks and so on. But for chemistry, it's just like physics. Look at the ones that have at least 2 marks. Those become your important topics. Okay. So again, I'll let you all take a screenshot of this. Here, hydrocarbons though is surprisingly having a very high weightage. Hydrocarbons has a surprisingly high weightage, so focus well on that. All your alkanes, alkenes, alkynes, all of them, all the hydrocarbons are important. Okay, rest of them here, in this case, the other ones like carboxylic acid, aldehydes, ketones, all of them comparatively lower weightage, but alcohols, phenols, ethers, again in organic, have a slightly higher weightage. Okay, again, you can see the data right here in your inorganic S block elements, P block elements, important. S block and P block important, have 2 questions each coming from them, even D and F block elements important. Coordination compounds is a very, very important chapter in JEE mains. Surprisingly, comparatively in Eamcet, it's a little, like, it's okay, it still has some weightage, but we generally recommend that you focus more on D and F block. But if you're prepared for JEE mains, obviously your coordination, general organic chemistry, these, the big ones, are probably already strong enough. So that's it. That is the paper pattern, the expected paper pattern from Sri Chaitanya. Our team gathers, gets an idea about what kind of questions to expect, and based on that we provide you, and we are doing this based on a legacy of 38 years of providing quality education in the Telugu states. So we'll be coming up with the Eamcet solutions only on the very day in which the Eamcet is held. We will be also coming live on these channels, your JEE channel, NEET channel, all the channels. So subscribe to all of them. Subscribe to those channels and also join our Telegram groups, because all the question papers and everything related to them, even study materials, will be provided for free on those Telegram channels. So you'll get the links to the Telegram channels in the description below. You can join those channels, subscribe to this. If you got value out of this, do like this video and share it among your friends so that they can also be helped out and have a more planned preparation towards your Eamcet. Because I know most of you are preparing for your advanced or other exams, but if you want a bit more strategic preparation for Eamcet and what to exactly focus on, this video will be very helpful to you. That's it from me from this session. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'll catch you all in the next one.